There's a story that I heard a long time ago that made a huge impact on me that I could relate to a little bit, just a little bit. And this story is about two twins. These guys had a father that was a very abusive father. He used to drink, smoke, gamble. He was a womanizer, and he treated their mom terrible. He used to beat their mom, and just like a pretty, excuse my word, excuse my French, but just a scumbag, okay? And these two twins grew up seeing the example of their father. And then they go and they grow up, and one of them becomes very, very successful. He's a successful man. He's got a successful business. He dresses well. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. And by the way, this is not saying that there's something wrong with drinking and smoking. I think, whatever. It's everybody's opinion. But in this particular case, this guy doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's married. He's some kids. He's a good father, good husband, and all that other jazz, right? Hardworking guy. Then the other brother, the twin, pretty much turns out like his dad. He drinks, he smokes, he gambles, he's a womanizer, and just like his father. Then one day, as they get older, they're grown men. They're probably in their 30s, and somebody interviews them, and they ask him, they ask him a bunch of questions, but one of the questions was, why do you think that you turned out the way you did? And then the guy that turned out good, that turned out okay, says, well, my father was a drunk. He was a addict. He was this. He was a womanizer. He was this and this. A bunch of negative things that I didn't want to be. So growing up, I didn't want to be like that. I saw what my mother went through with him, and I didn't want to put my mother through that. I didn't want to put my future wife through that. And so I just didn't want to be like him. That was my motivation, to not be like him. Then they asked the other brother that. The one that turned out just like his father. And this guy says, well, my father was a drunk. He was a alcoholic. He was this. He was a womanizer. He was all these things. What do you expect from me? I turned out like my father. That was the example that I have. So I turned out like my father. So what is the moral of the story? Some people use the same circumstance as a reason, and some people use it as an excuse. The first guy used that same excuse as a reason to not be that way, as a reason and as a learning experience to be something completely different. And the other guy chose to use that as an excuse to live that kind of life. See, there's oftentimes, every day pretty much, decisions and things that happen in our life that we could either use as excuses or reasons. I had a young lady on my team a long time ago says, well, JC, I'm a single mother with 2 kids and no job right now. I can't find a job. It's going to be hard for me to do this business. And I said, well, here's the thing. That to me sounds like a great reason. If you don't have a job and you say you can't find a job, you can start building this business part-time. And the fact that you got no job and you've got 2 kids at home that depend on you, to me, that sounds like a great reason for you to start doing something in the meantime, at least while you find a job. And she started thinking about it, and she said, you know what? That's true. I didn't look at it that way. Long story short, she got started. She didn't make a ton of money, but she ended up making an extra couple $100 a week, which came in very, very handy. This was years ago. The point is that when things happen to you, you could either use it as an excuse to continue to go downhill, or you could use it as a reason to go out there and make it happen. But the decision is yours. It's up to you whether you want to make it a decision or an excuse. And let me tell you something. 95% of people will always use those situations as excuses of why they're failing. Only about 1 to 5% will really use it as a reason. Now, it's not easy, but it is worth it. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.